Prime Minister talking to international partners about the future of the financial services sector. I'm Clint Watson. The stories ahead in the Bahamas Tonight.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, a church burns down and church members believe it's the work of an arsonist. We'll tell you why. Stay tuned.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, a teen on a murder charge. We'll tell you all about it.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The Christie administration highlighting the Bahamas as an emerging leader in financial services. Good evening, everyone. I'm Candino Knowles.
And good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thanks for joining us. Society of Trust Estate Practitioners, better known as STEP, is holding its annual Caribbean and Latin American conference at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort this week. STEP has the reputation for bringing financial services centers together to discuss solutions and emerging trends around the world.
Well, Clint Watson has more tonight from the Minister of Finance, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie, who addressed the prestigious group of financial connoisseurs.
Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie contends his mandate is to move the Bahamas to a new growth paradigm through the diversification of our economy and the transformation of the financial services sector. While maintaining that his government will not be complacent, he says what this next move will require is periodically reassessing strength and strategies.
Particularly in the realm of wealth and estate planning. And my government is really determined to apply the same boldness, the same creativity, the same innovations and political leadership to continue to drive our economy towards an even higher growth trajectory.
Right now, the Bahamas is taking stock of its products and services and looking at new opportunities for growth and additional product offerings.
But we are also seeking to add to this menu through the introduction of arbitration services and yacht and airplane registries and updated intellectual property registries. We are also looking to link more comprehensively our financial offerings with our trade and logistical agenda.
The possibility of financial services worldwide remain endless. To this end, Prime Minister Christie says the Bahamas expects to take full advantage of the opportunities available to expand and strengthen our jurisdiction as a world leader.
Our growth strategy could best be described as bold and creative, with the private sector working hand in hand with a supportive government.
Having moved away from an economy that deepened solely on fishing and farming, and decades later one thriving off of tourism, our main industry, followed by financial services, which accounts for 15% of our gross domestic product, the Prime Minister noted that it is this sector that has created a vibrant middle class and a growing wealthy class of Bahamians.
The Bahamas financial services industry is indeed the essence of bold and creative entrepreneurship. And this is a spirit which I encourage to flourish throughout the entire economy of the Bahamas.
So Prime Minister Christie is heralding that the future looks bright and the possibilities are endless. However, he says with smart minds in the industry and a collaborative effort with the government, there can be greater that's achieved. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Well, an ongoing dispute possibly leads to an early morning church fire, with members now claiming someone they know is responsible.
Janelle Noel Ferguson has the details.
The inside of the Miracle Faith Praying Station Church of God on Marshall Road gutted by fire early Monday morning, leaving parishioners in shock. Church pastor Larrick Kemp says he believes an ongoing feud with the former pastor's daughter over the use of the facility led to the incident.
When we arrived to service on yesterday, her and her people were here awaiting us, and they made some threats to us and told us if we touch the locks what they're going to do to us, you know. And so I called the police, and they came, and they told her that she had no grounds to change the locks.
Church founder Claudius Campbell soon arrived. He said it was difficult for him to understand. Apparently he's also blaming his daughter.
That's all. She told me a couple of months ago, said, if I don't be careful, she can soon burn my up in the house. She told me this. And he told me, said, I be careful, you can soon hear fire down in Marshall Road. He told me that. But I thought they was just making a joke.
ZNS News contacted Campbell's daughter, Kay Cooper, who admitted to locking the church, but she denied any involvement with the blaze. Anything to do with the fire?
No, I hasn't. Not at all. The only reason that I went there yesterday and locked down the church is to help him in his situation that he's living in, a deplorable state. And which you could see in the background, it's a deplorable state. That's why I went there and I locked the church down so that I could put the church on rent to take care of him. It has nothing to do with the fire because that's his income to help him.
But Elton Major of United Churches of God in Christ says what Cooper is doing is wrong.
These properties are not owned by the pastors when given to a church. They're given to a church that's incorporated by the government to use to build churches.
Meanwhile, officer in charge of the fire department, Superintendent Walter Evans, says an investigation is ongoing.
Arson is not being ruled out. Of course, we, from our side of the fence, we need to ensure that from an evidence perspective, we are able to say precisely what would have been the cause.
With only the shell left of the Miracle Faith Praying Station Church of God, church members say their faith won't be moved. They say that they hope those believed to be responsible for this fire will be brought to justice. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Well, 15 passengers on board a Dan Knowles tour bus received the scare of their lives today when the vehicle's engine burst into flames around 12:45. The fire occurred along the airport road a short distance away from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Airport Station. When our cameras arrived, the empty shell and smoke marked the location. Assistant Superintendent of Police Kelly Mackey said the driver of the bus noticed the engine smoking and pulled to the side of the road before the fire erupted. All passengers were able to get off the bus along with their personal items before the fire spread. Fire trucks were on the scene within minutes, and Mackey said it took about 15 minutes to put the fire out. Shortly after, passengers were transported to the airport. Now, ZNS News contacted the tour company, but a representative said they were unable to comment on the matter. Well, a teen was charged in the magistrate's court today for the stabbing death of a man reportedly over $1 in a dice game last week.
Jimonita Swain was in court and she tells us it was an emotional day for family members of the deceased.
17-year-old Hospital Lane resident with his face covered and shackled made his first appearance in the South Street Magistrates Court today to face a charge of murder. Because he is a minor, we are unable to show you his face. Police say he is responsible for intentionally and unlawfully causing the death of Valentino Raming on May 8th. As the charge was being read, the mother of Raming left court in tears, saying she was unable to breathe. Raming was stabbed multiple times last week and died from his injuries in hospital. In court, the teen was represented by attorney C. Alexander Dorset. Magistrate Samuel McKinney informed the accused that the offense for which he is charged was an indictable one and meant that he would stand trial in the Supreme Court. He was also denied bail.
The matter will proceed by way of a voluntary bill of indictment. The teen is expected to be served on July 15, 2014. Until that time, he will remain remanded at Her Majesty's Prison. Jimonita Swain, ZNS Network News.
And still to come tonight, increases in NIB payouts, more on what prompted government to fork up more money. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.